Welcome, everybody. My name is Scott Cochran. I'm the Director of Admissions at Episcopal High School. I'm here with our head baseball coach, Chris Warren, and a couple of his players, Jaron Moses and Jackson Bauer. So I'm going to kick it over to Coach Warren and the boys to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Warren. I'm the head baseball coach at Episcopal. This is my sixth year at Episcopal. Well, seventh year, actually, if you count last year, which unfortunately we didn't get the chance to play in the spring. But so very excited about the prospect of the coming season. It's been great we had a chance to get a lot outside a lot in the fall, and guys got to take about 4 to 5 weeks of training that we did, where we played a lot of games, inter-squad games, and did some drill work. So that was very encouraging for the spring. So welcome.
Get over to Jaron.
Hi, I'm Jaron Moses. I'm a junior from Atlanta, Georgia. I am a prefect on Hummel Dorm, and I play second base, shortstop, and pitch.
Hi, I'm Jackson Bauer. I'm a senior on McGuire Dorm, and I play outfield.
Great. Thanks, guys. Well, Coach, can you kind of go through some of the highlights of the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the things I guess I would highlight with the program, I guess the first thing I would talk about would be the fantastic relationships that the players build while playing baseball. It's been really encouraging for me as a coach to see how many guys stay involved with the program once they've graduated. It's also exciting that we've had quite a few guys go on to play at the next level over the last few years. Picture in the bottom right is David Rondeau. David went on to play or is going on to play at Hood College. Jaron's older brother, John, is playing at Rochester. Thomas Wendells is in the picture as well. He's also playing collegiately at McAllister College. So that's been a really exciting thing for these student athletes here at Episcopal who choose to play baseball. Also, too, I guess, unfortunately, we weren't able to play last spring, but the spring before that, we were able to qualify for the Virginia Independent High School League state tournament, which was really a huge achievement for our team, and so I'm looking for great things moving forward.
Great, thank you, Coach. Can you talk a little bit about the facilities that we have for baseball?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, Coach Conklin. The facilities that we have available to us at Episcopal are top notch. We have, if you're looking here on the overview on the slideshow, you can obviously probably see the baseball diamond. Baseball diamond is top notch. I mean, it is just playing surfaces second to none. It's all grass. But in addition to that, playing surface, we also have access to Flippin Field House, which is a little harder to see on the screen, but is an indoor facility complete with batting cage where a lot of our guys will work out during the winter and off season and take advantage of that as we prepare for our spring season. So in terms of facilities, we really hurt for nothing there. And then, of course, you can see the weight room facilities here as well, which one of the neat things at Episcopal is if you choose to be an elite student athlete, you have the ability to and access to our weight room facility, and then you can even develop a personalized lifting guide for you that's sports specific if you so desire. So it's really a unique opportunity for a high school athlete who aspires to play at the next level. And of course, you can see the locker rooms here, which are pretty phenomenal, as well as there's a picture in the bottom left of our Hall of Fame, as well as our kind of the entrance going into the locker room as you leave Flippin Field House and head towards the equipment room and the training room.
Great. All right. Thanks, Coach. A question for the boys. Can you kind of describe what it's like to play on the baseball team and play baseball?
I can go first. I mean, I didn't have a ton of baseball experience before coming to Episcopal, but I mean, it was a lot of fun my first year, and obviously I stayed for 4, so it shows kind of you know is built at baseball, and the coaches are great, and practices are really fun, and so I think the baseball team is probably one of the best teams at Episcopal, culture wise.
I think that the we have a lot of fun playing baseball at the school because our team is like really well put together and pretty gelled. So we like to have a lot of fun while also trying to win. So it kind of makes it like a win-win scenario where you're having fun and winning a lot of games and working hard to achieve the goals that you want to achieve on the team.
Awesome. Thanks. Question for Coach. Can you talk a little bit about, and I think you might be on mute, Coach, but can you talk a little bit about, and you talked about the success you've had, some of your players going on to play at the college level. Can you talk about those guys coming in the program and what it's like in terms of working with that really high level baseball player who wants to play at the next level? But also at the same time, I know with all of our sports, we rely on those beginners to come in and really come up with the program. So can you talk to that experience for an experienced player?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the experienced player, so one of the things that we started to do, well, the first year I got there, we kind of put together a hybrid JV team, which would junior varsity team, which would allow some of the less experienced players a chance to compete, and then also to the younger players who certainly would have some skill, maybe a chance to work on secondary positions or secondary skills, and in a slightly less competitive environment versus, say, the varsity level. So that was one big thing we did. One of the things we also do quite a bit of, and baseball players out there will be familiar with this. We do quite a bit of position-specific work. So we'll break into position groups, whether it be infield, middle infield, catchers, pitchers, outfielders, and sometimes, obviously, there are guys who play multiple. So that allows us to kind of differentiate instruction as needed. And I found that, or we have found that, to be pretty successful in addressing the needs of the high-level athlete who aspires to go on and maybe even play collegiately, to the guy who maybe doesn't have those aspirations but still wants to be part of the team and still enjoy the environment. And the other thing I'd say too, if you aspire to play at high level, and Coach Conklin can address this from a lacrosse perspective for sure, we're an extremely competitive conference where the competition level is very strong, and then across the state, at our Division I level, there's a lot of very good teams. So, in any given year, we're going to play 20 plus games. And then we're also going to play in our conference tournament. And then if we're able to qualify the state tournament, we'd move on to that as well. So, there's plenty of opportunity against great competition. And I've always found that that's, if you want to get better, that's really what you need to do. You need to play the best competition.
Yeah, no lack of competition in this area for baseball and lacrosse for sure. Another question for Jackson and Jaron. Are there any kind of traditions within the baseball program or specific memories that you have over your time as a baseball player at HS?
I mean, the first tradition that comes to mind is introducing yourself after practice, and the coaches choose one guy a day, and you get to introduce yourself and say your name, where you're from, grade, and a fun fact, and it's always a funny moment in practice.
I have two things. The first one is we all stretch and warm up together and throw together. It makes it make us get to know each other better, and just to just be as a team, be as one. And the second thing I have is the pregame and post practice pep talks that we have to get us hyped for the game beforehand, and be okay with that result of the games afterwards.
And we'll keep it with the players. Can you talk a little bit about, what it's like to be a student athlete at Episcopal, how you balance, being a student, the expectations that you have in the classroom, social life, and also how you balance that with baseball, particularly when you're in season?
So I think it's pretty easy to balance everything, especially in the spring, um, because there's so much time built in. Um, you got like Camp Episcopal during the spring, so there's plenty of time to socialize, and then you've got study hall to do your homework. And if you need more than that, then you can talk to the people on dorm and get late hours, and then um, practice is getting longer because the sun stays up longer, which is great. But I think time to get everything done, and it's fairly easy to balance everything.
I agree with Jackson. The schedule is really organized so that you don't really miss out on academic time for sports. And on weekends, it gives you more time to do both, even if you want to, while being able to keep that social life. You have 2 days to do whatever you want. So it kind of really helps you balance that.
That Camp Episcopal that Jackson's referring to is that time at EHS in the spring when the weather is great and kids are just really spending a lot of time outdoors. It's really they love that time frame at Episcopal in the spring. Coach Warren, can you talk a little bit about, obviously that baseball is a spring sport, and that's when you're playing games and your primary season. But I know that there are things that our student athletes do to get ready for the season. And so can you speak to some of the things that as baseball player might have access to in the off season to kind of get ready for the season, or some things as a team to get ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess the first thing I'd say is, obviously at a school like Episcopal, we've got a ton of guys who are multi-sport athletes, and baseball is no exception. Many of the guys do play sports in the fall as well as the winter, some both seasons. And obviously, I think that would take precedent for us in the off season. But we do have access to the indoor facility, which during the winter is great because they can get some work in on their own if they choose to do so, and then several nights a week we have an option where guys can come over and use the field house to take swings, take ground balls, do long toss, work on more specialized skills if they choose to. So that's been great. And then quite a few of the guys, we don't really have a traditional summer program that you might expect with, like, say, a public high school team, for example. But a lot of the guys do choose to play in the summer in their respective hometowns, wherever they're from. And that's a lot of the incoming guys do that. And Jaron, I know you've done that at a pretty high level in Atlanta, as well as your brother did too. So that's in terms of in season. I mean, a big thing is just the multi-sport awareness, which is something we really I think have benefited from quite a bit in our baseball program. And then obviously having access to the weight room is a great opportunity for guys to get bigger, stronger, faster in the off season as well.
Thanks, Coach. I have one last question for each of the boys to answer. And then, Coach, if you have any kind of closing comments, feel free to chime in. But Jackson and Jaron, in terms of any advice that you would give a prospective baseball player that's considering coming to a
I mean, I think we have awesome facilities. I don't think there's a single school out there that has better facilities than us. And if you decide to come here and play baseball, just go out every day with a good attitude and work your hardest. Don't goof off.
One thing I'd say is, like, in the first couple of days, if you decide to come, that you'd be definitely really nervous and you'd want to try and overdo your skill set and try to be something or someone that you're not. So what I would say is relax, be confident, and play the game that you were used to playing. Don't try to get caught up in seeing what someone else is doing, and try to be like them. And when you come, just try and be yourself.
Good advice. Good advice, guys. Coach, anything to wrap up? You're on mute, Coach. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry about that. Not a whole lot, I guess I would say. One of the things I always talk about with prospective student athletes is that, and I think this is really more of a school comment than it is just baseball in general. Episcopal is a great place, but it's not the right place for everyone. But if you do choose to visit the campus, whether it's virtually or in person, I think you'd find it to be a really great place for development, both athletically, academically, socially. And in terms of baseball, I think it's a really good mix of honoring the academic needs of the school, while also providing student athletes a good opportunity to compete at a high level. And really, at the end of the day, that's all you could ever ask for. So it's a great place. I encourage you to reach out to me, send me an email if you got any specific questions.
Great. Thanks, Coach, and Jackson and Jaron. I know, having watched the baseball team over the last few years, the growth and success that you have is really exciting. Look forward to getting more baseball players to come and play in your program. So, Coach mentioned if you do have questions about the baseball program, you have his email that was on his slides earlier. And if you have questions for Jackson or James, I Coach Warren can put you in touch with it, or I can as well. So, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you playing baseball really soon.
Thank you.